What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Guys, it's very simple right now. You're probably nervous because you see the market and you've got a dip happening and it doesn't feel really good. And I keep telling you, well, it's going to go up, right? Well, you're really just correcting a little bit for the next leg up. How far down that goes, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as bad as all of that. We've got some bearish pressure. We really do. The market is pricing in right now the end of the year or the end of the quarter expiry. This is the end of March. So we've got a lot of people resetting their positions. That's what they call it. And that leads to a lot of bearish momentum. So Ethereum is down about 6% today. Solana is down 5.5%. Luna Classic's down 5%. BNB is down 10%. So it's one of those days. By the way, when you look around, you see something like Doge, which is not down nearly as much. So, it's a mixed bag. Bitcoin down 2.5%. And by the way, is it cool that I'm in my Studio Ghibli apartment with leaves flowing? I mean, my house is so neat. Anyway, hit the like button on your way in. Let's get after it. Let's figure out what's going on with Luna Classic. All right, before we get started, Trobits.com, you know it, you love it. We burned 160,000 yesterday, which was the biggest burn in a few days. So we're getting towards the end of the month. Was a good run. I mean, this really was a pretty decent run. We had in the middle, when we had a lot of engagement, we had it over 160,000. We want to get it up above there and keep it up above there every day. Why does it matter? Well, we're burning Luna Classic for you. And not only that, we're burning SHIB for you. And not only that, if you need news, if you need information about what's going on in crypto, this is one of the places that you can go to get it. And this entire website is based on ad revenue. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to log in. You don't have to do anything other than just come and engage with the content. And if you do that, then guess what? You're going to burn some Luna Classic for your team. So are you a team player or are you not a team player? All right, we're going to skip trending for now. We want to see a favorable trend with Bitcoin. If it happens, then I'll let you know. This was the big article up today on Commonwealth. It was actually yesterday. We didn't talk about it. We brushed over it. But somebody put out, give it to Binance. And this person says, I'm not an engineer. I'm a trader and barely understand macroeconomics. Yeah, I mean, based on the proposal, we get that. However, that doesn't mean that there wasn't some at least consideration to value. What he says is, his synopsis is that Luna Classic has not done anything because of governance inefficiencies, internal disputes, and past bad actors. That's not really, it's really the reason why. We'll get into that later. Binance is phasing out BUSD, and it lacks a direct replacement. So on the surface, this is actually a pretty good idea to do, except one thing. You're asking Binance to assume the debt load of USTC, which is currently, based upon the circulating supply, $5.5 billion. That's going to be prohibitive, and that's why nobody's done anything about it to this point. Now, current challenges, in inefficiency and infighting, that's not the challenge. Why Binance should take over USTC? Because a decentralized entity still needs to have leadership in it in order for it to progress, is ultimately what the answer to that question is. And by the way, remember, everybody is shooting down any sort of sub-DAO or any sort of governance because they have either trust issues or they don't like people issues. Are they looking out for what's best for you? That's a decision that you have to make. If you support full decentralization, then you should validate with the people who support your belief system. If you think that we need some sort of centralized control method in which there's at least a board of people that are in charge, somebody like me, somebody like you, somebody like Diamond Hands, somebody like RexYZ, somebody like Vegas, any one of these guys, right? There needs to be a board that's going to vote on things, and only bigger issues get brought to the community if it requires funding. If it's just day-to-day pieces, then they should have a small budget in order to do what it is that they need to do in this ecosystem and coordinate improvement of it. And It is my opinion that it should have happened 2 years ago, but the fact that it didn't is why we are where we are right now. However, when I say that, I don't mean price action. Just so you guys understand, we could be at the same spot for price action as we are right now because the market is in the same spot. When I say that, there's your Luna Classic chart right there. There's your Bitcoin chart right there. There's your Solana chart right there. There's your Ethereum chart right there. It is not just Luna Classic going through some things right now. It is the broader market going through some things right now. Donald Trump is what it's going through right now. And he continues to attack our friends, if you will, across the world. And by the way, use the term friends loosely, and I don't mean that to say that I don't support what Donald Trump is doing, because I do think that it's necessary or a necessary evil in this space right now, and that we should have done it a long time ago. But we sever ties with foreign allies for the focus of the United States more than the focus of the other nations. And many times we've done the wrong thing, which is we've favored other nations over ourselves. That is where the ultimate problem is, and I think that that's, hopefully we'll find a solution here with the other nations to get to that point. But that's really, truly what's going on. We're just trying to find our way and protect America from not just bad actors, foreign and domestic and all of that, just to make sure that financially the United States is secure for that future. And I think that I appreciate the fact that we are doing that. So, but that's why. That's ultimately why this is happening right now, despite the fact that, and again I say this, we have a massive amount of liquidity flowing into the global markets that has not made it to crypto yet. Okay, this move right here is what's happening right here, and we're in this little spot right now. How long is that going to play out? Like, I don't know the number of days that it would play out. If I were to guess based on the structure of the way this is playing out, let me just break it down for you. This right here was this right here. This right here was this right here. Now we dipped down, we had a relief bounce, then we had a dip again, and then we had a relief bounce. So those two right there, that looks to be these right here. So that does mean that I think we're in that uptrend over the next couple of days. And the reason that it matters even more right now is because this is the end of the month. This is where the options expiry happens. It's like $15 billion expiring in options today. Both call and put. So, and puts at this point, when you're down 80, it means that the puts are winning. But it's an early day. The United States might wake up and be in a good mood. I don't know that it will or will not. I don't think that it will be, because it doesn't really make sense that it has been. And when you look at the charts for the last couple of hours, then, you know, breaking it down by the hour, you can see right here at 11 p.m. everything nuked. That's the Asian markets. That's not really the United States or the European markets. So at 11 p.m. last night, that's when we got our nuke candle. So that, by the way, probably just establishing and pulling liquidity right now. And then of course that's causing other people to shake themselves out, and the big money on the side just waiting for that to happen. So Luna Classic, by the way, on this hourly, you'll notice here after that nuke, not so bad, by the way. But it did start to consolidate immediately for a reversal. Now, when you zoom out, you find that you're just kind of in this range again, but you've been in a positive trend. This is not positive, this is just sideways, but it looks like it was consolidating for an explosive move, right? So let's just consider that the fundamental structure has kind of stayed the same, and we're starting to move in the right direction all along this. So look, ultimately, I think that we're in a good position. We just haven't seen it play out yet, because we are, when we're talking today, we're in the minutia, which means that every single day we're looking at these charts. So sometimes it's just telling us, it's just giving us a piece of a story It's not giving us the full story, but we still have to, like me anyway, we still craft our content around trying to break it down for you and trying to analyze for you, trying to figure out what's going on so that and are at least a little bit more informed. And by the way, I'm giving you my opinion. It's upon you to look at the chart and figure out for yourself, is this the investment opportunity that I've been looking for? Is this the thing that's going to, break out? Is this where it all starts to happen? And look, this right here, we could come down to the bottom of this chart one more time for a quote unquote cleansing. Remember, I told you this about USTC. I set buy orders at 208 because I thought that once it got there, it would have a significant rally back up into this range. It would be an easy 3x in my opinion at that point, coming down from, and by the way, we were doing it over here. I thought maybe we'd get a little rip and then it would look something like that. But instead what we got was the global liquidity. When you look at it, it's actually, we got that relief right there, and then we got that sideways spike, and we got that upward movement right here, right here. Now we're in this little cut right there, down, right, down. And then we had this little sideways action. Now we're having this dip one more time. And the question is, how much dip is there? But then that's when the explosive move happens. Like it is literally playing out in front of our eyes where we're seeing it. And, I feel like it's I apologize to you guys that I didn't see all of this going on beforehand. But it makes sense right now that if there is a nuking sort of event, that it happens on the final days of a month, final days of a quarter. This is when businesses kind of align and make changes and stuff like that quarterly. So you could see some institutional money shifting around. And if that is the case, this might be the moment where you say, oh, wow, here it goes. This could be our breakout moment. And we know that because of global. So I do think that we're in a good spot. We just haven't played it out in real. On CoinHall, you can see right here, value. Garuda X still riding high, but down 7% on the day. Juris is down 8% on the day. And Hera still sitting firm right now. Not much movement right there. Food down a little bit more today. And Terra also down just a tiny bit today. Terra Tritium down 26%, by the way. I haven't played that game in a minute, but I do feel like it's important to get in there and start playing a little bit more of that one. Base, not really moving, not really doing too much over here. All these things, of course, are going to be different. When when you zoom out here and you take these over a longer period of time, you can see just you don't get a lot of movement other than to shift resources around. We have to attract more people into this ecosystem. Once we attract more people in this ecosystem, by the way, I told you before, we've got an announcement coming. And I think it's an announcement that will attract more people into this ecosystem, but we have to get to the point that the announcement happens and that we're ready to go. So, but again, you kind of look here and you can see, and by the way, the reason that this is just kind of sideways and not up or anything like base is just waiting for when this market reverses. By the way, it's going to be a significant reversal. Remember, Luna Classic is going to go up 200%. If it goes up 200%, everything attached to it goes up 100%. That's the way that the liquidity pairing works. So these things all look like there's not a lot of movement. And there's really just a lot of downward momentum and sell pressure, but it's not significant. Like when you look at it, how much is actually being sold? $4, $5, $6, $8, $20 here, $30 there. Nothing gigantic. We're not really So finding stuff in this ecosystem is certainly going to happen. And you're only down 8% over 7 days. You know what I mean? So I think ultimately we're fine. I don't even know how much base I have. How much base do I have? I've got 3,463 base right now, worth about $23 in Luna Classic. That's the amount. So it's a small thing. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. I'm going to be talking to, by the way, as you guys know, for a long time I was partnered and sponsored with Terraport.finance and with Terra Casino, and that partnership ended at the beginning of this month. So, by the way, if you have any sponsors for the channel, certainly have them reach out to me. But might do something with Terra Casino very soon. I've got a meeting scheduled with them. We're going to be talking about some opportunities that maybe we'll be looking at, some things that we might be doing going forward. So we'll see whether that pans out or not. As far as voting and governance goes, upgrade to 3.43 looks like it will pass. Requesting CoinMarket to remove the stablecoin tag from USTC and SRD seems like it is a slam dunk right now. I don't see anybody voting no. All nodes is a yes. Interstellar is a yes. Jesus is Lord is a yes. Your no's, Baywatch. Your no with veto, Alpine Digital, and your abstains are Hexagon and Moonrunner. So almost consensus here that this is a good play. Compensation for the development over here of this one's not even going to meet past threshold. I think this is a bad idea, but you know, when I go through it here and I try to figure out what's going on, then I mean the question would be, do you just get paid for your work, or is it the work that's completed? And, you know, I think there's probably some conversation to be had about that. But, you know, I mean, I think we're going to have to get a little deeper to figure that out because I don't think that it's clear at this point. And I do think that it should be, but it's not right now, or at least. So let's see what happens there. But as far as volume goes, we're down again. As far as volume goes, we're up. But again, I mean, you know, you've got a big dip and a dump in the market, so you got to deal with it. Now, 5 days, Luna Classic is going to have another burn from Binance, so we'll see how that goes. So far, 194 million being burned. Stake showed 41 million, which was the best in a couple of days. You know, it's been, you know, we haven't had 40 since March 15. So it's been quite a few days since we've had a burn this significant. But really, to be fair, like that is an insignificant burn because, you know, over here, 57, 60 every day, 50, 484 million, 454 million, 58 million, 841 million, 123 million, 40 million, 35 million, 151 million. So we burned a lot more over the last little while than this. And, you know, here we had 70s and 80s. So ultimately, we're not burning nearly enough, need to burn a lot. And in closing, Clay, we've talked about this multiple times. This is the chart performance right now for Clay. So in the event that you got in early and were part of it, I would suggest that you take your profit right now, but be real happy because this is significant. This is a protocol that was going to be used for them to prove. This is proof of the ability to burn and stuff like that, right? Ceramic has created a pretty good thing. So you tell me, do you get excited by that? I mean, you know. 10 million market cap is when the contract is revoked and it switches to autopilot. So in 5,000 years, as long as humans are still around, Clay will be around too. Just think about it. People are creating today. You know, I mean, let's see how this goes. I'm certainly going to be interested in seeing how this. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you like my Studio Ghibli background? Do you like flowers and leaves and stuff like that like I have in my room? Do you like my bunny rabbit up here? I mean, everything back here is... Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.